INSIHT. We keep you informed.
This is our journey. We've had our finest moments and our darkest hours. Yet we pull ourselves back from the brink every time. We are a resilient people. We are Nigeria. And when we talk, we share our views on Top Radio 93.7 Citizen FM. Our people united will never be defeated.
Hello, sir. Good morning.
Make we join our hands to build a nation of our dream. Citizen FM, Citizen FM.
Hello, sir. Good morning.
Problem and my joy is your joy. Citizen FM, Citizen FM. Make we join our hands to build a nation of our dream. Citizen FM.
Sir, do I call you on the regular line? Sir, let me call you on the regular line. Let me call you on the regular line, sir. I can't hear. Okay, Jesus. Okay, let's see. Let's try it, sir.
Wants your dream to brightly glow? Here is what to do. Women's
Sir, let's try it.
Just for you. Education, work, lifestyle, career, mentorship, and family too. We will tackle the issues, provide solutions, and see you through. Finding your voice, reaching high, and making an impact. Women's Corner, where knowledge can fly. Join us every Mondays and Wednesdays at 1 p.m. for inspiring stories and practical advice to reach all your glories. It's Women's Corner on Citizen 93.7 FM, Abuja.
Hello, sir. Wow.
Hello, Abuja. You are listening to 93.7 Citizen FM, the latest radio station based in Nigeria's capital. Our station seeks to broadcast a broad mix of culture and views with priority given to development programming to enable residents share ideas and opinions, music, drama. At Citizen FM, we believe in
I can hear you.
And solution-driven conversation.
Okay, just stay on the line now.
Is to build a united Nigeria by bringing people of diverse together through communication. Enjoy listening. 7 Citizen FM. We are more than just a radio station. We are a part of it.
Hello and welcome to INSIGHT. My name is Lawrence Omoite. Today, as the United Nations International Day of Democracy, we turn the spotlight on Nigeria's democratic journey. It's been 26 years since the country's return to civil rule in 1999. But where exactly are we? Have we consolidated democracy with stronger institutions, wider freedoms, and genuine participation? Joining me to interrogate these issues is Prince Adewale Adebayo, former presidential candidate of the Social Democratic Party. Thank you so much for joining us, sir.
Good morning, Citizen FM, and God bless Nigeria.
God bless Nigeria, Prince Adebayo. We are really grateful. Far away, we know that you are not in the country, but thank you for finding time to take part in this program. Okay. Yes. The United Nations. The United Nations International Day of Democracy is a moment to reflect on how well nations are upholding democratic principles. Let's start from a global perspective. Around the world, how has democracy generally fared?
Well, democracy is going through challenges all over the world today. There is no continent on earth that is not having signs of democratic deficit, a bit of instability, and lack of congruence between what people expect and what their representative government are doing. So, the three crises facing democracy at the present time. There is a reversal of democracy in many countries where autocratic tendencies are more pragmatic to the problems they have. So we've had democratic reversals.
Okay.
Even if you look around our sub-region, many countries around us have had democratic reversals. Countries that have been democratic for some time, you suddenly wake up and find out they are no longer democratic. And second is the stunted democracies, like that of Nigeria, where you are there for 26 years, and you are not more democratic in 2005 than you were in 1999. So you've done 26 years, the longest ever, but you're not moving towards deepening that having a democratic picture. Then the third crisis is dislocated democracy, where you are democratic, but it doesn't solve your problems. So people are dissatisfied with it. And in the USA, people are using gun and assassination to try to resolve political differences. Europe, the elected political leaders, you see the problem with the Brexit and the turmoil it caused. And if you go around many parts of the world, you will see that elected governments are being faced with riots by their own citizens and all kinds of dissatisfaction. So that is what is happening. And on the international scale, the autocratic tendencies of this government is now making it appear as if the world leaders are working towards war against one another, despite the wishes of their people. So that is the challenge. Those are the challenges we are facing now. And every country has to look inwards and find solutions to their own peculiar problems, using their own experience, their own history, and the cultural resources of their own people.
Prince Adebayo, although you insinuated in your opening statement that stunted growth in Nigeria, but looking back 26 years now, since the return to civil rule, are you saying that we've not made any form of progress? Okay, I think we're having issues.
I can hear you.
Okay.
I don't know if you can hear me.
I can hear you, sir. Oops.
Your question was whether we have made progress or not.
Yes.
If you have a student, a primary one, and that student doesn't pass English, maths, social study, anything, and cannot pass and go to class 2. That will still be eating and growing. So that child that was in primary 1 at the age of 7 years, if he's in that class for 20 years, he'll be 27 years old, he will still be primary 1. Doesn't mean he's not growing. If he's growing physically, he might even grow beards and even find himself a wife, but he's still in primary 1. Because academic growth and physical growth are not the same.
Okay.
So, as a country, we're making progress in many ways, but our democracy is not growing. Our elections are not better than before. We're not satisfied. People don't say, okay, we are had an election, I've heard from the voice of the people, and I believe that my opponent is the one the people want for now, and I concede and I move on. It is not happening like that. Our system of democracy is not deepening. The local government system, which is closest to the people, is not democratically administered. There's no democracy in our management of expressions. There's no democracy in our decision making. There's no democracy in our resolution of differences. So there is no democracy in the allocation of resources.
Okay.
So our democracy is not entering into our bloodstream. The democracy is like a rub or any ointment, pain relieving ointment. The idea is that if you have pain, even in your bone marrow, if you have pain in your tissue, when you apply the ointment to your skin, the ointment will now percolate into your body and go to that tissue that is paining you and relieve you there. So any ointment you put on your body that doesn't go inside, it doesn't cure the pain. It's on the surface only. That's how our democracy is. We want to make us free, relaxed, productive, happier. But it has not even gone past having credible elections, something as simple as that, which should have been the beginning. Before it now percolates to our decision-making systems, our organizational systems, our hierarchy of government, and our functionality, our reporting system, and all the way down to the point of having good laws that will be applied by a people-oriented, fair and just, independent judiciary, and so on and so forth. So, and our debate culture and everything will be smooth. So the democracy is not like that. You will know that democracy is in crisis when Department of State Security is interfering in politics by writing to an activist that don't talk to the president like that, withdraw your statement and things like that. You know that they either they are concerned that that kind of speech is going to upend the security of the country, or they have become so partisan that they are siding with the government of the day to try to help them provide counter-arguments to their democratic challengers. So there are so many other things you can see. And that's why Nigeria itself may be growing. If you tar roads and spend money to make roads, the roads will be tarred. If you invest in agriculture, the food will grow. If you build a new port, the port will function. But it doesn't mean that your democracy is growing, because there are indicators of how democracy grows.
All right, President. Someone listening to you now will say, are you not rather indicting the political class, you inclusive? Because most of the problems that people talk about, they mention political parties, they mention politicians. Most of the disregard for rule of law, political parties, politicians, and you are prominent.
Being prominent does not mean that you can't say the truth. And if you have a class, as has happened to me before, you're in a class and 300 students write an exam and 250 fail. You, as an individual, you may still have A across the board, but you are just 1 out of 300. So they will say that class is a failure. That class failed because 90-something% of the students failed. So it doesn't mean so they will say on the average a poor class, but in the poor class there will be good students who will do well. So the political class is a poor class. They're not even genuinely political class. It is just that the role of a political class is required. And people who are not supposed to be political class because it is the access to power. It's like the military days. At the beginning, people who love soldiering, people who love the spirit of being warriors, people who love to defend the country, joined the army. They didn't think it would be a shortcut power. They just loved the job and they joined. But when it became clear that you could become a military administrator, you could become this and that, the next who have no military ethics, who have no interest in it. And that's how it is with politics. Those who originally joined it were just nationalists, who were just trying to resist European domination of Nigeria, especially the British government. And they were challenging. It's our land. You can't make laws that are not good for us and things like that. And they were pushing and pushing for independence. And then they became the government. But the set who are in politics now, majority of them are not motivated by any higher call. Other than it's just, that's how to be a minister, that's how to be a governor, that's how to have access to resources, that's how to promote your businesses, that's how to have access to privileges and privileges. So, but there are genuine ones who are in politics doing their best. But overall, whether you are genuinely intentioned, or you are there because of other ulterior motive, all of us have forgotten how democracy works. We have to relearn it. We cannot pretend to ourselves that what we are doing now is democracy. We are not running a democracy. And we need to learn it. We need to learn. You have to acknowledge that what you are doing is not good enough. But if you are, where I say we're all learning, nobody is perfect, you will never change. And that's is not to dampen the morale of the people and say democracy is impossible. No. Democracy is possible, it's attainable, it's more congruent with our culture. However, what we are doing now is not how it should be done. And if we acknowledge it, we are 50% of the way. Then the question will be, how do we get the right attitudes, the right people, the right mechanisms? And to make sure that democracy doesn't sound theoretical. Because many people, when they are discussing democracy, they will think it's political science we are discussing. No, it is what determines whether you are hungry or you feed well, whether you die young or you live long, whether you are at war or whether you are a prosperous society or your children start to go abroad looking for greener pastures where there are none, whether you live well and at peace with your neighbor or not, whether you can practice your religion personally for yourself and be at peace with your fellow citizen who is practicing another religion, whether your ethnicity matters in your life, or just right to express yourself and to associate freely along with people and other choices. So these things are practical. Whether education is affordable and qualitative, or it is exploitative and competitive. So these are choices that are around democracy because scarcity will always be in nature, or at least appearance of it. So, and society is organized itself around how to make choices and how to allocate resources. And the way a majority can make sure that they are not taken for a ride, a system of government that they choose. That's why democracy is the last vehicle is the last saving grace of the poor. Because the poor cannot compete with the rich in terms of money, in terms of influence, in terms of access, in terms of knowledge. But it is democracy that makes a big man to go and beg the poor man and say, give me the power, give me the mandate. It is democracy that will make a prince go to a pauper and say, vote for me. Let me explain to you. Let me explain my situation. If there's no democracy, all the elites, the billionaires, the princes, all gather together in one small conclave and share all the power and share all the privileges and allocate them resources to themselves and make it appear to you like they specially merit all of this wealth and prosperity and you should serve them. It is democracy that will say, no, we're all equal. All the resources belong to all of us. And let us decide on what to do. So that is why democracy is important. And it's not an academic thing. And when you have a disease affecting that democracy, that disease is going to affect you and your future in a matter of time.
All right, let's say Prince Adebayo. Now let's zero into specifics. The political parties, remember the last time you were on this show, that was when the coalition of opposition groups were conversing, and the first port of call was the SDP. And a lot of people raised concern that the coalition might just take over the SDP, which you disagreed at that time. But the long and short of it is that the coalition is now in ADC. What is the inside story of how the coalition left the SDP?
Well, it's a very simple thing in SDP. We see they came on the basis that anything to be done to remove Tinubu is good enough. And let us all gather together and remove Tinubu from power. And that's all. Then we say, okay, fine. We in SDP know how to do politics like that. The policy we go is what is good for the people. When we get to power. So come and explain to us that you either adopt the manifesto of SDP, farewell to poverty and insecurity, or you have a better version of it. Why are you in politics? Things like that. We're asking them questions. Why are you in politics? Then those of you who have served before, come and give account why you couldn't solve these problems that we are still facing now. There are certain individuals, they said this person is going to be our chairman. We said, how is he going to be our chairman? What was the role he played in the annulment of June 12th? He has to give accountability. We're not saying that if you've done something wrong in the past, you can never be participating. But you must be able to give account first. And you must feel where you have done wrong, you must admit, and you must pay enough penance for it. So you cannot just be an armed robber yesterday and enroll to join the police today. And they will check your background and say, well, you know the armed robber that we're looking for last week? He said, yes, you have repented now. Just like that. Where is he done? So, and they thought that we were asking too many questions. That look, there are other political parties, they just wanted them to give them money. And they will go there. You know, okay, good luck to you. So, and that's all. And some of them, when their colleagues left, they remained behind, tried to cause trouble, tried to say, oh, it's the national leadership of the party that is stubborn. If I give the state branches, other lower levels, maybe they will come and join us or allow us to come to the party. So they are facing their music now. So, but the issue for us is that it is true, whether you are sentimental or not, President Tinubu's government is performing far below expectation. It is performing poorly, and the effect is affecting people. You can be a card-carrying member of APC, you can be a relative of the president, you can be a supporter. When you get to the market to buy food, all your lives will disappear. When you receive your salary and you want to allocate it, all your lives disappear. Right now, as children are going back to school, you can be carrying a broom and say, your mandate will stand or whatever. You and your wife will sit down and realize there's no mandate to start on. So, if you look at all of these issues, it means that Nigeria has two ways to improve our situation. It's either we all rally around and climb the mountains and keep praying and come down and support and put every pressure able to make President Tinubu to improve. Otherwise, many lives will be lost, many lives will be ruined, and poverty will entrench itself further. And when you are talking about how it affects you, it may affect you a little. I say, I can cope with it. What about others who are less privileged than you? So, when you put all of that together, you have to say, okay, there are two options open to us. Whether close our eyes and say, okay, we'll put all our hope in Tinubu and see how we can improve him, how we can get him to perform better, how he can get a better cabinet, how he can... Or we say, well, in a democracy, we have alternatives. Just bring alternatives. But the alternatives must be better. The alternatives must be stronger, must be more credible. I'm not saying you are traveling from Ibadan to Lagos and that the Toyota Corolla that is carrying you is too slow. Then you go and get a wheelbarrow. You will even be slower. And then I'm fed up with this Toyota Corolla, so they jump for the Omalanke will carry me. Out of anger, you will regret.
Okay, I think that...
So that is the problem we are facing. Look, the fact that because every election cycle, let me explain to you, sir, every election cycle, the people who are worse than the people who are there will always come by hand and say, you see, the person who is there now is not serving you well. Give it to me, give it to me. But when they had it before, they were worse than the guy who is there now. So we want to make it break completely. A woman cannot be going from a wife beater 1 to wife beater 2 to wife beater 3. You have to know that apart from all these wife beaters, there are men who don't beat their wives. Go there. You can't say, well, you see, when you were with me, I was beating you. I was beating you with hand. This one is beating you with Koboko. Come back to me.
All right, President. All right, President, we need to move fast because there are a lot of issues to trash. But before we leave, in the SDP, since the coalition left, there seems to have been no peace in that party. For example, there was a report of the suspension of your national chairman. Is Shehu Gadam still the national chairman of your party?
Yeah, Shehu Gadam is national chairman of our party, but he's suspended because of an investigation. That investigation has nothing to do with the coalition people or not. It's a process going on in the party. And I think people should understand that a political party that cannot discipline its members will do poorly in government. And so there were allegations of that had to do with finance, that had to do with decision making. And we asked the Air Vice Marshal Sadiq to be chairman of a screening committee, of an investigation committee. And the person is the secretary to the accounts, is in charge of all the records, is one preside over the party. So if you want to do a proper investigation, you ask him to step aside. But he's still the chairman. If there's anything that he can do as chairman under suspension, they still go to him. Of recent, for example, we're nominating candidates for elections, by-elections. And they are not sure, from legal opinion, whether an acting chairman can sign. We argued that an acting chairman can sign with the secretary. They said no. So when the argument was getting too much, Gabam said, okay, let me sign so that the party will not lose. So even though it's a suspension, we went to him and he signed. It shows to you that he has the interest of the party at heart. It's not like quarreling with the people in there. He knows that he has to start that suspension. There's nothing he can do about it. And on some occasions, I tried to review. Even last month, I reviewed with the people. If investigation is not over, what is the outcome? They said, no, give us more time. We are discovering more things. I said, okay, I left it so that's that. Now, so there is peace in the party. But what is happening is that there are certain people who don't take no for an answer. Like David Mark and Arego Shola and the rest of them, they've moved on. They are running their APC, Atiku Abubakar, and so on and so forth. But there are people who don't take no for an answer, that stay behind in the party, causing trouble until they got expelled. Because they just by nature, everybody has their own different culture. Some people are polite, reasonable, gentlemanly, and honorable. When they believe that the relationship is voluntary, and if you don't want to associate with them on an ideological basis, they will still be greeting you personally and they will move on. But that's not that they are bitter. Their politics is bitter. Remember the old man in the Second Republic.
Waziri Ibrahim.
Politics without bitterness.
Bitterness.
But there are some people whose politics is full of bitterness. Unless they show embitterment, they don't believe they're in politics. So they stay behind, trying to cause confusion in the party, and they are being dealt with. So many of their people have been charged to court, and they are undergoing trial in 2 courts in Abuja. So they are just giving appearance, but the core of the party is intact. There's no problem there. And those troublemakers got expelled, not because they disagree with other members, but because they went into bottom-line criminality with it, forging documents, doing silly things, and all sorts of things like that, breaking into party premises, and doing silly things that you don't do in SDP. So they were taken to court, and they are being tried. So there's that, but they spend a lot of their money going to the media just to make it appear as if there are issues, but there are no issues. And you will see that when the by-election came recently, we nominated our candidates. There were no double nominations. There are no contests anywhere. But you cannot stop a man who has acquired a lot of wealth. How he wants to spend his money. If I have money to waste now, I can declare myself as the OP of Onitsha and start giving interviews all over the place. It doesn't mean that there's crisis in the OP Council of Chiefs in Onitsha. It's just because I have money to waste and I have time on my hands.
Okay, before we move on, Prince, there are those who accuse you of running the party like a sole administrator, even when there are elected leaders of that party.
You see, what people don't understand, the same accusation was given against Awolowo in UPN. The same accusation was given against Aminu Kano. A party of ideology, it always looks like you are controlling them. You only guide them. And people seek you. I'm sitting down in my house. They want to make a decision in Cross River. They call me and say, we have this argument among ourselves. Which one do you think is a better approach to it? As a leader, you will say, no, it doesn't concern me. You give the guidance. What is making the political class to say that is that when all of them came with their money and they came to SDP, everybody they went to will say, well, we cannot make a decision. Let's speak to our leader. So they felt to themselves, me, I've been Senate President, I've been Vice President, I've been this and that. And who is this young man that I want to enter a party and people are telling me, well, we have to consult him. So that is the concern. They started going to them and say, you have been a governor before. You have been this before. You have been a minister. How can you allow it to control you? And people are saying, it's not controlling us. We are using principles to run our party. We know what we believe in. So they haven't seen a political party like that. They have seen a political party of highest bidder. They have not seen a political party that has order. You will see our national secretary. He has been minister 2 times. He has been head of road safety. He has been head of department. He has run many businesses. He's 76 years old. And then they go to him and say, with this, and he says, no, let us meet. And they think, how can this young man be the one telling this? I'm not the one telling him. It's the principle we share together. They don't realize that we have come together now in SDP to try to run around ideology. And I have tried my best, with all humility, to be a good advocate of that ideology, to know what we stand for. And when we lost election last time, they were offering position, they knew that I did not take any position. I remained in the party. I did not go and become a minister under Tinubu and start running up and down. I stay where I am. And I did not run to another party. I stay where I am. So we are trying to build the party so that at least in this country, people will not say, we don't know what these political parties stand for. All of them are the same. No. They will say, okay, SDP. They are for the enforcement of Chapter 2 of the Constitution. They are for fair way to poverty and insecurity. They are for social investment. They are for running national enterprises that can develop the economy of Nigeria. So you can see that some governments now are beginning to follow us. You will see that some state governments now are running airlines. They are trying to repair their airports. They are doing things which we told them before that is doable. And they said, before, government has no business in business. But now, the best airline in Nigeria is run by a state government. And the state government are now beginning to run their airports. And things like that, you will see that it's possible to go from another sector, to do agriculture, to do the thing which our forefathers did, and they were able to reduce poverty. And when President Tinubu went to Brazil, he saw what Bolsa Familia, a policy, has done in Brazil, that in 4 years, they reduced poverty by 78%. And it is doable. This is what we stand for. This is why they say, I'm running the party. There are cases, you can investigate it, where a former governor of a whole state went to speak to a national woman leader for our party. I'm going to give you $300,000. Go and reverse the decision taken by that did Prince Asututi. That was no, it's not just, we didn't take it because of Prince. We took it because we have been well tutored that this is what is good for the country and good for our party. And sorry, sir, I don't want. So that is level. That's what they say. The party has become like an it's now they're following Prince, they're running it. Nobody can breathe. No, it's not so. A party must have principles, must have standards. You cannot say you are working in a party, give me money, I'll follow anybody. The political class became dejected and disappointed, and the solution that a political party will see, they offer them billions, and they will say, no, if you want to join our party, go and join and learn. So if you are a governor of a state, you have governed a state for 8 years, and your ward expel you from the party because you didn't behave well, you feel your ego is affected. You feel like, what? They hold me? Whereas in their own former political parties, national chairman will come to their house and be sitting there waiting for them. National secretary will be begging for money. The entire NWC of a party will collapse because 2 governors are funding them. In SDP, we don't want to be like that. And we want to maintain that discipline. And we want everybody who joins the party to understand that. And even, how many political parties in this country can take the national chairman and suspend him? And the suspension will stand. How many of them can do it? It shows to you that if you entrust government to us, we will discipline even the president if he's not following the party policy. That is what they did in South Africa to Thabo Mbeki. The ANC disciplined him and stepped him down and put his deputy Zuma there. So it is doable.
All right. Okay, Prince.
Democratic.
All right, Prince, we are gradually rounding up. The National Assembly is currently reviewing the Constitution, and a lot of people have called for reforms, electoral reforms. In your mind, what do you think can be done, practical things that can be done in terms of reforming our electoral system?
Anything good to reform our electoral system, that also reform our culture and our custom and our behavior, it will work. We should stop buying votes. That's a crime. Both buyer and the seller. That one is clear. Two, our institutions, INEC, police, Air Force, police, army, DSS, all government uniform services should be neutral in election. That is that. If they are neutral in the election, there can't be, when Nigeria is not so unfortunate that you can't find 11 people who love this country more than they love the APC or SDP or something, who will go and sit down there and run election independently and openly. There's nothing complicated. There are all these things, they're passing laws and there. The laws that are there now are good enough if they are implemented. But you can enhance them, because every day there's creativity, technology comes, you can enhance them, and all of that you can say, let everybody vote from their telephone. Now that everybody has a telephone, you can make an election, and the most important thing is that election integrity must be something that is a consensus. You can have a bad election, bad government, whatever, but all over the world, most countries, their democratic problems have gone beyond credible election. They made the election easily credible. They may not be happy with that, but it's easily credible. We cannot say that we cannot even trust the results being read. When the results are being read, people are already saying, no, it's not true. That is a non-starter democracy. A democracy, the amendment to be made is clearly that we should, as much as possible, have independent-minded people running. And if you show bias, you will lose your job. Second, as much as possible, we should remove the judiciary in our election. If you are a judge serving in government, as a judge, you should have no role to play in election petition. We should set up a constitutional court. That constitutional court sits only for election matter and disappears. It will help us so that the people of Nigeria will have confidence in their judiciary, and the judges will not be affected by politics. They will just know that this judiciary has no role to play in politics. And that's why some countries have done it. They don't allow the regular judiciary to become part of the election system because they need the judiciary for greater. But the political parties must be reformed because that is where the fraud starts from. They won't do credible primaries. They will not be democratic in their system. So once you reform that, you reform INEC, you reorientate in law enforcement, and you keep the judiciary sane and sacred, I think we're on our way there.
All right. Thank you so much, Prince Adewale Adebayo, for sharing your perspective today on World Democracy Day. It's always a pleasure to have you on the show, sir.
Thank you, and God bless Nigeria.
Well,
Happy Day International.
Amen. We say God bless Nigeria. Well, our conversation today is centered on democracy, its promises, pitfalls, and future in Nigeria as we mark the UN International Day of Democracy. One thing is clear, democracy is not just about elections every 4 years, but about building institutions, protecting freedoms, and ensuring that the people remain at the heart of governance. The questions don't end here, they continue in our daily lives. Keep asking, keep demanding, keep seeking insight. Same time, same station. We'll come your way again on Citizen 93.7 FM. My name is Lawrence Umeti. Enjoy the rest of your day. Hello, sir. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. No. They were just okay, sir. Thank you, sir. So when are you coming back, sir? right. Johnny Messi, sir. All right, sir. Okay, sir. I will, sir. I will. I don't know. I was trying this. I was wondering. Put that in this one. What are you putting? Didi, see, this is an non-fish, please. You try every day to just make sure that